Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see.
They established the building that we can see in front of us to stand till this present day, with a lot of renovations outside and inside, but basically it's the same layout. It's a very big one. The church has so many spots in it. I want to highlight three of them.
This is a very, very important church, if not the most important church for Christianity or Christians. And here is basically where three big things have happened, and I'll tell you about it.
As the touristic guide just said, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, it's a very big one of the biggest one I've ever seen, if not the biggest one. The church was built in the 4th century, and since then it has been a major Christian pilgrimage destination as the traditional site of the resurrection of Christ, hence its original Greek name, Church of the Anastasis or Resurrection. It was rebuilt several times, and each time some of the antiquities of the preceding church were used in the newer renovation or construction. It is located in the Christian quarter of the old city of Jerusalem, and its control is shared among several Christian denominations, such as the Roman Catholic, Greek Orthodox and Armenian Apostolic, and to a lesser degree to Coptic Orthodox, Syrian Orthodox and Ethiopian Orthodox. I went there at the beginning of April, so I had the chance to see the church without too many people around me, and that again gave me the opportunity to truly connect with the place and fill my spirit with positive energy.
Quite an overwhelming feeling to be here, like it's even hard to describe in words. I can only say it's overwhelming. You would understand only if you would be here. It's even hard to put this in words. But I'm very happy to be here, and I'll take obviously a moment without the camera in which, I'll do what I need to do basically. I don't think that everything needs to be put on camera. Certain things you just keep it for yourself. You need to have your own moment with yourself and with this holiness. So yeah. The first main point in this church is upstairs where it was Mount Golgotha, and that's where they crucified Jesus. And then the second spot is where they light his body, so there is a stone here. So they light his body on that stone, put the oil on his body, and then prepared him to be buried. And then the third point is where they actually buried Jesus, so Jesus' tomb. Near the stone as well, on the wall, you'll see a big mosaic which depicts basically the 3 stages I told you about. That is the crucifixion on the Mount Golgotha, and then the preparation of the body to be buried, and then obviously the tomb.
Jesus is not here.